when he went into his senior year of high school, he had zero Power 5 scholarship offers. Just think about that. Zero in this time and day, 3-4 years ago. Zero offers from Power 5 schools. He ends up being selected into the NFL. He only allowed 1 sack in 723 snaps. I'll put a link in there of a touchdown that was just off the charts. One-handed snag and just over someone, and it just kind of set off his high school career. And then in college at Texas, he pretty much did the same thing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. My name is Tony Glasgow, and I'll be your host. And today I'll be talking with you. And what I'd like to talk to you about are the North Texans that were drafted in the 2024 NFL draft. So I've got a list here compiled. It's actually from the source from the Dallas Morning News. And so the way they actually wrote the story, the last player that I'm going to mention is actually first, but I saved this player for last because of I just want to talk about him just a little bit more. And the other ones are grouped together for certain reasons. Some because of school that they attended here in this area, and others because of position. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, we've got defensive tackle Byron Murphy from DeSoto here in this area, DFW area. And he went to Texas. He was a pretty big star there. You probably knew he had gone to Texas, but he was the 16th pick in the first round of the draft. And while he was at UT, his first 2 years, he started only 2 games. And after that, he just came on. In fact, a junior season that he had, he was a second team All-American and the Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. And that was considered by most his breakout season. And in that season, well, not just in that season, these are career stats. Had 29 tackles, and 13 of those were solo. 8.5 tackles for loss. He's got 5 sacks and 7 quarterback hurries. So he was getting to the quarterback, making a lot of tackles as well. One note just about the DeSoto legend here in this area and in the state. He's the 23rd player from DeSoto to make it to the NFL. And that's a tie with Houston Yates. And be honest with you, DeSoto and Houston Yates were not surprises for me on this list to have that many players in the NFL. But the leader was a shock to me. I mean, if you know college football, like if you're a coach and you're just a college football head, you would have known that Galveston Ball was the leader in that. I'd heard of Galveston Ball, but I just didn't know they had so many players. I never figured they would be leading with having players in the NFL with 27. South Oak Cliff, to me, that was a little bit more understandable. They have 25. Longview, which is understandable to me, which they have 25 as well. Tyler has 24, which is understandable. And probably the most notable coming from that is Earl Campbell. And so DeSoto and Houston Yates are tied for 5th for 23 in the NFL. And that's according to Pro Football Reference. So a lot of power in the state of Texas alone. In the North Texas area, East Texas area, there's a lot of power football going on here too. So if you didn't already know, if you're not listening from the state of Texas or you're not from the state of Texas and you didn't know, but here football is king. Yeah, it's just plain and simple. Anybody that follows football and high school football will tell you that in Texas, football is king. So sorry, other sports, but that's just kind of how it is, you know. So next on the list, we have a linebacker, and his name is Jalen Ford. Frisco, Lone Star, Texas, where he went to high school. And that's up here, North Texas, close, really close. Frisco is very close to where we live right now. And he went to Texas as well. And he was drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the fifth round. Fifth round, 175th pick in the fifth round. So while he was with the Longhorns in his 22 and 23 seasons, get this, all Big 12 selections in 22 and 23. And of course, as you all know, Big 12 is a Power 5 school. And if you're doing something at a Power 5 school of this magnitude, then that's really saying something about you. And in doing that, get this, at that Power 5 school, not just any Power 5, it's the Longhorns, long tradition of great players coming out, going to the NFL. And he had a team leading 101 tackles last season. And that's no feat that's not overlooked. And I'm sure that's what New Orleans is looking at. Normally, they do have tight defenses. They're known for their linebackers, sort of like the Bears have always been known for their linebackers, for their defensive play. And with that kind of performance, I would imagine they're going to be happy with the pick that they've made with him. All right, now, so let's go ahead and stick with defense. We've got a safety named Trey Taylor. And I had Jalen and Trey together because they went to the same high school, Frisco Lone Star. Trey went on to the Air Force, where he played his college football. He was drafted by Las Vegas in the 7th round and the 223rd overall pick. So out of the Air Force, he was a third-time All-American safety while he was at Air Force. And get this, the top Nation's Defensive Back Award, which is the Jim Thorpe Award, went out in 2023. That was just the past season. He won the Jim Thorpe Award for the nation's top defensive back. And coming out of high school, he was a 3-star recruit, not above the board, about average on everyone's board. So winning the Jim Thorpe Award is an astonishing achievement. So congratulations, Trey. All right, now, so moving on to our running back, which is Jace McClellan from Aledo. He attended Alabama, and he was drafted in the 6th round by Atlanta. He was their 186th pick overall. So he's going to be joining another great back that's already at Atlanta, Bijan Robinson, a former Longhorn. McClellan had initially committed to Oklahoma, and then he flipped to go to the Tide. So I would say he made a really good decision going to a school like that and getting drafted. So he made the right decision. And he was coming out of high school. He was a star recruit in the Dallas area. I mean, he was highly sought after, as you can see, being courted by Oklahoma and Alabama. So he had some decisions to make, and he actually made the choice that would take him to where he is, where he wanted to be. So I'm sure he's happy with that. And now we'll go to a defensive back. His name is Ryan Watts from Little Elm, Texas, another school very, very close to where we live right now. And he went to Texas as well. A lot of Texas guys in this draft. That sounds pretty good to me. He was drafted in the 6th round by Pittsburgh. He was the 195th pick by Pittsburgh. He came to the Longhorns after being at the Ohio State. I'm not sure what happened there, but he made a good decision coming to the Longhorns. And while at Texas, and he had 24 games, which included 23 starts. And in 2022, an all Big 12 selection as an honorable mention. So that means that he played well enough to get someone's attention, but there just wasn't room on the list for him. So they put him as an honorable mention. I'm sure he was happy with that. Now he's at Pittsburgh, coming from Little Elm, going to Texas and ended up in Pittsburgh. I would say that is one of the football players' dreams. All right. Our next player is Ladarius Henderson, a guard from Waxahachie, Texas. And he was actually on the Michigan team that won the championship last season. So he was drafted by Houston as the 249th pick in the 7th round. So one interesting fact about him is that he never played organized sports until his sophomore year in high school. So for him to learn and adapt so quickly, coaches did a great job. I'm sure the offensive line coach recruited him to play for the football team because maybe of his agility and ability that he saw doing something else. What a lucky find for that coach and for that team and for Ladarius. So, that worked out for him. Next up, we've got Dennis Rakestraw. He's a defensive back from Duncanville High School, and he went to Missouri, and he was selected by Detroit as the 61st overall pick and the 29th pick of the 2nd round. So when he went into his senior year of high school, he had zero Power 5 scholarship offers. Just think about that. Zero in his time and day, 3-4 years ago, zero offers from Power 5 schools. He ends up being selected into the NFL. That's an accomplishment. And he says that he picked Missouri because it was the first school that offered him a scholarship, first Power 5 school that offered him a scholarship. He had Division II school scholarships, a lot of those, 7, 8 maybe, before he got Missouri. Then after Missouri, you look at that list, you're like, well, what were they missing? But he was true to his heart and true to his word. And since Missouri was his first Power 5 school, that's the reason why he picked them. And the scouting report on him is that he plays very physical against receivers. So a receiver will have to know if I'm going against Rakestraw, it's going to be physical. They're used to that, but you got to get used to it with another player. That's the thing. So we'll see how that works out for them. So now we're going to move on to the offensive line, which is Branden Coleman, and he's from Denton High School, exactly right where we are. He ended up going to TCU, not very far from where we are also in Fort Worth. And the Commanders selected him 67th overall in round 3. And so in his 11 starts, he had, 11 starts at left tackle and 4 at left guard. So 15 total starts. And he only allowed 1 sack in 723 snaps. That is an astounding number. That is an astounding stat. 723 snaps and you only allow 1 sack. You're working if you're doing that. So they've got a worker on that line. The Commanders are going to build on that so he can play tackle and guard. So he's a pretty versatile player. So sure his feet are well too if they're thinking about moving him positions like that, or if he can play those positions like that. So that should be a good find for them. Now, last but not least, definitely not least, we've got a tight end from Texas. His name is Jatavian Sanders, and he's from Denton Ryan, another right in our backyard. So I can say that it has been fun watching him develop. So I've known him since freshman, maybe middle school or freshman in high school. And just to see him develop and grow into the beast that he is on the field, just in high school. I mean, I'll put a link in there of a touchdown that was just off the charts, one-handed snag and just over someone. And it's just kind of set off his high school career. And then in college at Texas, he pretty much did the same thing. He's got an all-time program record for catches for a tight end, which is 99, which over 3 seasons, that is an astounding number as well. So he's along with 5 other players that were selected from Texas from that same team. So Byron Murphy, which I mentioned earlier, Xavier Worthy, who set the new record for the 40 at the Combine this past season, Tavondre Sweat, got Jonathan Brooks, and Adonai Mitchell. So that is a class coming out of Texas that is really good. So definitely going to keep an eye on those guys to see how they do, as well as Jatavian, because Just want to make sure everything is good with him, and we're so happy for him. And we talked to his grandmother and father this weekend, so they're all happy and they're all excited as well. So good things are coming for him. We know that. All right. Well, so that's the list that I have, and I wanted to just say a few things about them, but mainly wanted to focus the North Texas athletes that have gotten drafted. So, like again, if I missed your baby or your cousin or your nephew or somebody that didn't get drafted, that didn't get mentioned in here but did get drafted, just let me know. Drop me a note. Drop me an email or instant message. Just let me know. Hey. And I'll bring him, actually get some information on him and bring it to the show. And I would appreciate that if somebody would give me more information to work with. So I'd also like to thank my featured business for the day, which is going to be Brit's Kicks. And you can check his Instagram page out and get in contact with him for custom design shoes. He's done a pair for me. I've done a pair for my wife. Beautiful. He's they look great, but they even look better when he displays them professionally. So I wear those shoes when I'm on at all the games, and get lots of compliments on them. He can do pretty much whatever you want. So give him a call, look him up, see how to get in contact with him, and get your stuff, get your shoes customized by Brit's Kicks. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and keep an ear out and an eye out for the next show. You guys have a good day. Thank you. Goodbye.